Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, obviously today is going to be your housing market update, but I'm doing it on Saturday because I was not able to get the video out on Thursday. And you guys know that I like waiting till Thursday because Freddie Economic Data updates their data chart for 30-year fixed rate mortgages. So I like to really explore that every Thursday, but my wife went out of town and I had to watch all three of my kids for 36 hours. So I just got done with that. I'm anxious to get back here. And what we're going to have on this video today, as far as the housing market update is, number one, we're going to study a poll that I made just to see if I was right, to see who was right, me or my subscribers, as far as the trajectory of last week's average mortgage interest rate. So we're going to explore that. And then I'm going to bring up the treasury bonds once again so that I can show you guys what I'm paying attention to as far as the 10-year that essentially gives us a better idea of where the rates, the 30-year fixed rate mortgages, or just mortgages in general are headed. So we're going to look at that. And then we're going to end this video with me accessing my local MLS. And I'm really excited to show you guys a home that I found that I would actually be willing to consider if I didn't already know what was going to happen. I'm also going to show you guys a trend as far as new builds versus resales and basically the domino effect that's happening as far as price cuts. And just so that I come through for one of my subscribers, you guys know I read almost all of my comments and I also have a big heart. So one of my subscribers kept going almost week after week. Will you please do a little bit of a market update on Pearland, Texas? So I'm also going to show you guys a little bit of Pearland. Now, you guys know I want to stick to one market so that you guys can see the techniques that I'm using to track a local market so that you could track your own local market. But again, for my subscriber, we're going to take a look at Pearland and I'm going to show you guys price breaks from resale houses and I'm going to show you guys price breaks from new homes. And it took me about 5 minutes to find that. But where we're going to start, you guys, is we're going to take a look at the poll. But you guys remember, I am not a financial advisor, even if I want to be, even if I got my license and I wanted to be yours, I'm not. This is my personal YouTube channel. But my bio is as a loan officer, beast mode loan officer, I may add, realtor, educator of all things real estate, father, husband, renter, made mistakes in 2008. I own a rental property. I own a note. I'm a content creator. I'm a thumbnail maker, and I am a beast mode land-based shark fisherman. Check this out. Pretty awesome, right? Either way, you guys, we're going to get started on a poll that I released last week, essentially asking my subscribers what they thought the trajectory of the interest rates were. I believed it would be lower. Let's see what this poll says right now. Okay, so last week, about 3 days ago, I made a poll, and this is what I said. According to Fred, last week's average mortgage rate was 5.3%. With this week's update, oh my gosh, and I forgot to tell you guys this, I cannot re-edit a poll once it's made. It says with this week's, it should have been will. You guys, I am so bad in grammar. It is so embarrassing. I'm so sorry, but I'm really good in math and logic. So, pick your poison right there. But will this week's update be higher or lower than 5.3%? So my guess is they're going to be lower and the trajectory was going to be downward. And I put that here because I want to be held accountable. My guess is lower to around 5.15%. The 10-year appears to have started going back up. Now, I said that 3 days ago before the job numbers came out. Before the job numbers came out. And I basically said under, but look at my subscribers. 60% of my subscribers disagreed with me and said over, and only 40% said under. So we're going to see who's right now. But honestly, you guys, that's really refreshing for me to see, just because I want you guys to do your own thinking. I don't want just people lining up behind me agreeing with everything I'm saying, unless you've truly, from the bottom of your heart, and you've analyzed the data, but you really agree with me. Now, remember, you guys, this is my personal YouTube channel. Do me a favor, because I try to get you a video, sometimes 2 videos a day. Reward me for my efforts by liking this video, subscribe, hit notifications so that you're alarmed when I release each video. And for the love of all that's holy, please shoot me a comment below. You guys, you have no idea how much those comments keep me going. It is so hard. I've done about 260 videos in 5 months. That's really super duper hard. But I got to tell you guys again, because I'm not doing this full time, but I have to tell you guys the comments that I'm hearing and saying keep me going. I have got so much testimony about people that have saved money because they've watched my show. I love it, y'all. Those are the things that keep me going. But first, let's see where the interest rates are right now. Are they higher than 5.3, lower than 5.3 like I thought? Take a look. Okay, so here's Fred, economic data. This is a very, very good data provider service. This is 30-year fixed rate mortgage average in the United States. This will be linked in my description so you guys can monitor this. But again, last week it was 5.3. I thought they would go down to 5.15. In reality, they went down even more than I thought to 4.99%. That is a 31 basis point decrease in interest rate. So 31 basis points is a pretty big decrease. But as you can see, they're still headed up, and roughly they're still from, if we go to the beginning of the year and look at YTD from January 6th being at 3.22, they have gone up still 177 basis points. So it's still 177 basis points from YTD, which is here to here, still super high comparatively, right? Obviously, and I think you guys can see that. Now, where they're at right now, being at 4.99, so they're comparable to about right here, which is April 14th. So we're still at a high, but this is actually a 2-month, roughly a little less than a 2-month low. And that should be really good, right? You should be thinking, oh, this looks like a trend, right? Travis is always saying it has to be week after week to formulate a trend. This appears to be a trend. I would normally say that maybe the interest rates were going to head downward. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying, you guys. I believe, so the last 2 weeks, I've called the trajectory right. I said downward. Second week, downward. This is going to be the third week where I start posting what I'm guessing. So again, we can all be accountable and we can all play the guessing game with me, right? So this week, the average this week, I expect is going to be higher. And I expect it's going to be actually a decent amount higher. And because of that, I'm going to say the average when Thursday's rates update from Fred economic data, we're going to be sitting at 5.48%. So I expect around a 49 basis point increase. But regardless, you guys, it's impossible really for me to get the exact average interest rate for many reasons. But mainly what we're trying to do here is understand the trajectory of the interest rates. And you remember last week, I concluded that video saying the last 2 weeks, actually, I said, lock your rate. If you're out there buying a house, and people buy houses for different reasons, and if you're out there, or if you're a professional realtor, loan officer, the last 2 weeks, lock your rate. That appears to be over now. I believe that the interest rates are going to start going up again. And the reason I feel that way is because I'm tracking the 10-year treasury. And I'm going to bring up the 10-year treasury right now. And I'm going to tell you what my strategy is for interest rates and monitoring the 10-year versus what effect that has on the residential mortgage rate. So also you guys could do the same thing, but take a look at the treasuries right now. So here's the treasuries, and this is as of the 6th at 10:43 a.m. Now, the first thing I want to say is look at the inversion. I mean, almost everything is inverted over the 10-year right now. The 3-month was over the 10-year. It's now under the 10-year. And really what I'm disappointed about, you guys, is the fact that the Federal Reserve and the current administration has not confirmed a recession. And I'm really, really disgusted in the fact that neither of them are talking about the fact that we're probably in a technical recession, right? Or at least talking about the yields, the treasuries, and how the economic indicators are all spelling out the same thing, that we are in a recession. So I'm really disappointed in the current administration. But here's the thing, guys. This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 10-year right here. Now, my anchor point, I set an anchor point number so that I can kind of look at that number to estimate where the rates are going to be. Now, my anchor point number for this 10-year is 3%. So when this hits 3%, I expect the rates to be about, okay, there's no science in this because there's other factors at play like mortgage-backed securities and things of that nature. But just based on the 10-year, when it's at 3%, I view the average mortgage rates being about 5.8. So the higher over 3% this gets, the closer to an average rate of 6% we get. The further under 3%, the lower from 5.8 we get. So the fact that it's 2.82 tells me that the rates are going up, because when I made my last video, they had barely just got to 2.7. Okay. But this changes every single day. So you got to watch this every single day if you're going to get an idea of what direction the mortgage rates are headed. But I wanted to tell you guys that's how I was doing that. And I think it's really, really interesting how it appears that the market has actually priced in what the Federal Reserve is doing. I think that's super fascinating. Case in point, the Federal Reserve increased the federal funds rate 75 basis points last week, right? Or 75 basis points. And what happened to the mortgage rates? They dropped. Residential mortgage rates dropped shortly after the federal funds rate was raised 75 basis points. Now, the residential mortgage rates dropped along with the 10-year, right? Very interesting. So despite the raise in the federal funds rate, mortgage rates dropped. The reason that is the market somehow prices in what the Federal Reserve is going to do. And they accurately priced that in. So naturally, interest rates started going downward. Now, here's what happened. The job numbers came out. Jobs were twice the number that people were predicting. I don't know how they get this so wrong, but they were twice the number. And what that does is essentially means there's good news. When we have bad news, it seems like interest rates go down. When we have good news, it seems like interest rates go up. And the reason why they went up is it's signaling to the Federal Reserve that they can continue to tighten and raise rates, and our economy can handle it. But here's the other reason why mortgage rates are going to go up. We have 41-year high runaway inflation. They have no choice but to raise the federal funds rate. They got to stop more than just the housing market here. We got to stop so many things, so much inflation. So naturally, the interest rates are going to go up, which is why I'm so surprised when we have a couple weeks of downward trends in mortgage interest rates. I don't get why people are flooding back to the market, because the price breaks on average are from peak are only down 3.8%. I'm looking for 15%. I will welcome more than 15%, but on average, they're down 3.8% already. Isn't that absolutely amazing? Now, also don't forget, in September, the Federal Reserve has said they're going to double their asset selling program, which should put additional pressure on interest rates as far as them going up. Again, if the market accurately prices that in somehow, then we're not going to see that mortgage rate jump in September. But who knows what's going to happen? I mean, the numbers right now and the data is so tainted, and there's so many different data points to look at. People are forming wrong conclusions all of the time, at least in my opinion. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to access my local MLS. We're going to take a look at live data, and we're going to start where we always start, which is in Kingwood. As a content creator, I had to decide on one local market to bring my subscribers up with, right? And the reason I stick to one local housing market is we need to study the trends together. And I hope that you guys are doing the same thing to a local market that you want to purchase in. But that's why we're staying in Kingwood. But I'm going to hop out of Kingwood real quick towards the end, and I'm going to go into Pearland at the request of my subscriber, and I'm going to give them what I was able to find in about 5 minutes. But let's get started right now. Okay, so here's my local MLS, y'all. Here's Houston. I go north of Houston, obviously south of New Caney, which is here, into this nice little area right here, which is Kingwood. And if you've been watching my market update videos and housing market update videos since the beginning, I mean, you can clearly see the massive amounts of inventory that we had when compared to 3 to 4 months ago. I mean, it is super astonishing. So I want to show you what I'm really most excited about, which is a home that I found at my price point. And I really like this house, you guys. It's right here. Let me zoom in on it at $375. Take a look at this house. Okay. Now, this is a very nice house. And really what I wanted to show you, and this is really where I'm going to stick with as far as like individual comps in Kingwood, and then I'm going to show you a market trend that I noticed. But this has been on, relisted about 6 days ago, six days on the market. It's listed for $375. This is a really nice house. You can see in the inside, I mean, there's granite, stainless steel appliances. I mean, it's a pretty nice house, right? It's not a junky house is my point. And look at what it's selling for per square foot. $102.46 a square foot. This gets me really super duper excited, because I'm like, man, is it already time to buy? I set a goal of $120 a square foot, then 110, then I said 105, and now I'm finding $102 a square foot. I'm financially ready. I can afford these mortgage payments. I have the money down. I'm out of consumer debt. I can buy this house right now and be happy, but I'm not, because you don't buy the first deal that you see in the market. But isn't that amazing, you guys? In such a short amount of time, I'm finding 102.46, a nice house under $105 a square foot. This is freaking amazing, and you should start getting excited like me. What I want to do now is I'm going to show you guys essentially a trend that I am seeing right over here. So if you guys remember, I've actually said that what is going to happen as these new builds sit on the market is they're going to have to price cut. And what's going to happen to other houses that are sitting on the market is they're going to also have to price cut. And what's going to end up happening is the new homes and the resales are going to be competing against each other as far as price cuts. In essence, it's going to be a domino effect. When the builders start price cutting, the resales are going to start price cutting. When the resales start price cutting, the new home builders are going to start price cutting even more. So I want to bring up a couple houses here. So here's the new builds right here. Let's look at a couple of these. So as you can see here, here is a small price cut of only $5,000, but let's look at another one just to see the trend. Okay, here's another price cut. Now, here's a huge price cut. These are all new builds, you guys. Here is a $36,000 price cut. This represents over a 10% price cut, you guys, on a new home. Look, it's not even built yet, but on a new home, over a 10% price cut. You're seeing that right there. That's $36,000 price cut, right? So essentially, this is a pocket right here, you guys, of new home builds. And I want to kind of just show you the trend. And here's another one right here with the price cut. Now, this is only about $9,000, but these people, this new home builder right here, which is this cluster right here, almost all of these prices are being dropped by about 2%. Okay. So all of these new home builds are starting price cuts, but look at what's happening right here. Right here is also a bunch of resale homes. Now, these homes, in order to compete from these prices, are also the market in general, but these are also cutting their prices. So this new home builder and these resale houses right here are essentially price cutting to keep up with one another. Let me start pulling some of these up here so you can start seeing the price cut. Now, these are resale homes. Again, here's the first one. It's not much, but this is a price cut of $10,000. Okay, so there's a $10,000 recent price cut right there. Let's pull up another one right here and see what we got. Another price cut here, $18,000. So you can see here, $18,000 price cut right here. Let's go and look at one more, and then let's go over to Pearland, y'all. But let's look at this one, $475. Let's see if there's a price cut. Yes, another price cut here, and that's about $14,000 price cut. So again, and this is a very nice house, you guys. These are super nice houses as well. They're just not selling anymore. There's just not demand anymore. People aren't buying. Buyers are leaving. They don't want to pay these prices. But again, with that, what I'm really trying to show you here is basically the trend in my local market and how new builders are feeding off of resales and vice versa, and how that's going to create a type of domino effect that is just going to put more and more pressure on price drops. And again, that's why I'm not going in the market right now. I'm not going to go in the market just as soon as price drops. It just started happening. We're not even close to the bottom yet, and that's why I'm waiting. But let's look at Pearland right now, and keep in mind, I took 5 minutes. I stayed in one general section just to show you guys that are looking in Pearland that their price cuts all over the place. Take a look. Okay, so here's my map. Pearland is actually south of Houston, right down here. Here's Pearland. Let's access this data right now. And I'm going to look over here. And I'm going to look in this little section right here, you guys. This is a section that I studied. It's not a big section, but I was able to find a lot just right here. Let's start taking a look at some comps. Now, here's the first one I found, and this is a price point of $330. Take a look at this. Again, this is in Pearland, you guys. Take a look at this, okay? So at $330, we have a $29,000 price cut, which it basically means that's an 8% price cut. This was price cut 6 days ago. So this is a 6-day-old price cut at 8% or $29,000 in Pearland, which is pretty massive, right? Because again, 3 months ago, we couldn't get nothing. Let's look at another one. So here's one down here at $462. I kind of wanted to give you guys a couple different price points, but let's look at this $462 in Pearland. Again, massive price cut of $57,800. I'm sorry, $57,900 at 11%. This is an 11% price cut in Pearland. As I said, this price cut was done in August 5th, which was yesterday from the date of filming this. So this was yesterday. These are all recent price cuts. So this price cut trend is going to continue, but that's an 11%. So whoever wanted the Pearland stuff, dude, all over the place, right? It's changing right before our eyes. Let's see if I can find a couple more now. So I want to show you guys also one a little bit lower price point at $259. Okay. And this is all in the same pocket. Remember that. So $259, $20,000 price cut. That's a 7.5% reduction in price. This listing is only 11 days old. The price cut was done August 4th. So 2 days ago, they went down 7.5%. So again, I'm seeing price cuts all over the place. Now, I do get some subscribers that say, oh, I don't see price cuts yet. I don't see price cuts yet, or it's not affordable. But here's the thing. Affordability and price cuts are kind of two different things. Things are still really, really unaffordable, but we want to see price cuts because that's the trend, right? That's the trajectory of the trends that we want to see. We want to see price cuts all over the place. So it has to start somewhere. Plus, you may not be looking at all of the right things. And that's why I'm always saying, study your local market, use companies like Zillow or specifically Redfin. And I've done it myself. And I've made a video on how to monitor your local market. Use Redfin, start tracking, get an anchor point as far as square footage, and then just see where the trends go based off of that anchor point. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. Now, other than that, I want to end on 3 conclusions that I want to share with you guys. Now, number 1, I believe that Q4, as I've been saying since February when I started doing these vlogs, I still believe Q4 of 2022 are going to be some amazing, and the start of some amazing buying opportunities. Now, number 2, in 2023, we are going to have the possibility of purchasing homes and getting deals of our wildest dreams. I think crazy deals comes in 2023. Past 2023, I don't know. It's an election year. There's a lot of politics in play. They're already changing definitions. I don't know. But 2023, I expect personally to find the deal of my wildest dreams. Now, number 3, because it's getting closer to buy time, not yet, okay? My personal opinion is 3 months. So 3 months before, okay? 3 months before you think you want to buy, you should start getting prepared in the form of pre-qualification and interviewing realtors. Primarily pre-qualification. The reason why I say start pre-qualification 3 months prior to shopping is if there's something wrong, you have enough time to fix it. Or if you can get an even better deal by raising credit, income, assets, then you have, again, time. Plus, not to mention, when you get pre-qualified, you can start talking to a loan officer about payment and out-of-pocket expense, which is really, really important to know if you're going to go buy a house. You got to know how much it's going to cost out of your pocket to move into it and how much it's going to cost you every month for 30 years, right? So those things are very, very important. And you should never, ever get pre-qualified and start interviewing realtors at the very last minute. You want months ahead of time. So again, you can prepare and adjust, and you're going to want the absolute greatest terms, right? That's why we have good credit and things of that nature. Other than that, I hope you guys got value in this video. I really appreciate you following along with me, y'all. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck, and I hope you win.